It is the 2019 All-Star Draft presented by Jordan Brand, and this year the selection process is televised here on TNT. Shaq, Charles, and Kenny are all here. We've been together 20 seasons. 20 here with the last 8. You know,
8?
I would say I have never. This is a first. I have never seen you mugs at 9 o'clock in the morning, and it ain't really pretty.
Well, we see you at 9 o'clock, but it wasn't really at work at 9 o'clock. It's been like in the hotel, passing or whatever.
Well, just getting back from the club.
Cuckoo room.
But
Cuckoo room.
This should be some fun. Shaq, you looking forward to it, man?
I am looking forward to it. Me and you had to leave about 2 hours early, but we're here.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. You had to stay here the other night as far as y'all live. Y'all don't even live in this Atlanta.
It was an hour commute. That's not bad here in Atlanta.
One lives in Mississippi, the other one lives in Birmingham.
Hey, we do want to give a shout out to the NBA and the Players Association for collaborating to get this done so the fans can watch the process pick by pick. The captains are in place. LeBron James is joining us from Boston, where the Lakers take on the Celtics on TNT on Thursday night. The Greek Freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo, is in Milwaukee at Fiserv Forum, where the Bucks became the first 40-win team in the league last year and rang up 148 against the Wizards last night. Captains, how you doing this morning? Everything good?
Everything's good. All good.
Everything's great.
I do have a question for Shaq. Can you pronounce Giannis's last name for Giannis, just to make sure the pronunciation is correct?
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
That's close enough.
It's kind of in the ballpark.
Is that right, my brother?
No, Shaq.
All right, teach me right quick.
It's Giannis Antetokounmpo.
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 Oh,
Antetokounmpo.
Okay, so Antetokounmpo.
You said Ant
Okay.
instead of Ante.
Would you
Just call me Superman.
Oh, very nice. I like
Kenny, go ahead.
it. Superman is in the building.
Hey, Giannis, you don't want that. He gonna hate on you like he hate on Dwight Howard. You can't take his nickname. Please don't call yourself Superman. He'll go crazy in here.
Charles, you have any advice for the captains before the draft begins today?
Just have fun with it. I mean, there's no losers. You know, I saw D'Angelo Russell on TV the other day. We're talking about, he says, listen, as long as I get picked, I'm happy. There's no winners, there's no losers. Somebody gonna get picked
He
last.
has to get picked.
No, but I'm saying, but somebody's gonna get picked last.
Okay.
You can't take it
Well,
personally.
you pick me last, I'd take it personal, LeBron.
Well, first of all, you're not gonna be on the team.
You know, I'm take it personal.
Hey, LeBron, it was last year that you said to me, this really has to be televised. What made you say that last year? What was it about that draft with Steph Curry that made you say, hey, we got to put this thing on TV?
No, it was just fun, man. It was fun to be a part of that process. It almost made us feel like we was back at the park again, you know, where we was picking our teams. And, like Charles said, there's really no losers in this, man. Everybody's a winner. I mean, we got 24 of the greatest basketball players in the world playing in this game. So, it's a fun selection, so I'm happy to be a part of it once again.
And Giannis, I was watching the Bucks game last night, and I saw your interview after the game, and you said that, you had to start working on your list, and that you had a couple of things that you wanted to get done once the draft began. Are you totally prepared for what lies ahead?
I'm 100% prepared. I got my list right here in my hands, and I'm ready for this process.
I got a question for Giannis. Giannis, how much pressure do you feel to pick your teammate?
Chris?
Yeah.
I do feel a little bit of pressure, but they told me that I'm going to pick I'm going to have the first pick from the reserve, so that's going to be my first pick. So I'll have a lot of pressure.
Guys, I know that the game itself, a week from Sunday, you guys both playing for charities that are Charlotte-based. LeBron, who are you playing for on that Sunday?
I'm playing for the mission of Right Moves for Youth. It's basically, giving back to these kids and better their lives throughout high school and also to the future. Obviously we know how important education is and how important these kids are to be able to tackle those kids when they're younger and going into their future. So looking forward to that, and hopefully I can get the win so I can provide more money for those kids ultimately.
And how about you, Giannis?
We're going to be playing for the Second Harvest fullback of Metrolina. It's something that fits me and my family's mission. Growing up, we didn't have much. And we're so thankful to have organization and charity that helped us, provide us with food on a daily basis, not just in our family, in our whole community. And I said it's something that fits my mission, and hopefully we can get a win and get the money so we can give it to them.
All right, Giannis and LeBron, the captains are in place. We are ready to begin the draft of the All-Star 2019. We'll do that after we take this short break and come right back here on TNT. All-Star 2019 comes your way from the Queen City of Charlotte with the Rising Stars on Friday the 15th. All the excitement of All-Star Saturday night, and then the game itself on TNT exclusively Sunday the 17th. All right, we welcome you back here to Studio D. The rules of the draft are few and they're pretty basic, so much so that even I can understand them. LeBron will draft first. He and Giannis will alternate, choosing from the other 8 starters. Giannis will have the first choice of the 14 reserves. LeBron will have the first pick of the special additions to the game, Dwayne Wade and Dirk Nowitzki. That's pretty simple. And so I'm going to turn it over to you guys, and I'm pretty much going to stay out of the way here as you go through the starters, unless you have a question of me, and I can't even imagine what you'd want to know from me at this point. So, LeBron, you got the first pick. It's all yours.
With the first pick to Team LeBron, I am going with Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant. That's a great pick. With the first pick, Team Giannis, I'm going to go with Steph Curry.
So the Golden State boys are off the board. With the second pick for Team LeBron, I'm going to go with Kyrie Irving.
That's a great pick right there.
Is there a bad
I got
pick,
it.
Giannis? I don't know if there's a bad pick out there. I think they're all going to be pretty good picks. You're up.
Yeah. So with my second pick, I'm going to go with Joel Embiid. Big man.
Solid. Wow. With the third pick, Team LeBron, I'm going to go with Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi Leonard. With the third pick of Team Giannis, I'm going to go with Paul George. He's been balling out this season. He had a huge dunk on me also.
By the way, James Harden's still available.
And with my final pick in the first round, I'm going to go with James Harden.
And that means, by default, the last starter available is Kemba Walker of the hometown Charlotte Hornets. So, Giannis, you will be getting Kemba Walker to complete your squad. Before we move on to the reserves, I do have a question for you, LeBron. Didn't you pick Kevin Durant first last year, too?
I sure did.
See, I finally got the answer from you after 365 days because you wouldn't say it last year. Good. So that can be put to bed now. Let's move on.
We're televised now. I'm giving more gems now.
Yeah, exactly. I hear you. Giannis, you've got the first pick of the reserves, and on that list, of course, as you mentioned moments ago, is your teammate Chris Middleton. Might this be the time?
I got to go with Chris Middleton. Cash money.
With my first pick in the second round, I'm going with Anthony Davis.
You sure you want him to be your teammate?
I'm very sure of that.
Isn't that tampering?
No. Shots fired, and you're up.
Tampering rules does not apply on All-Star Weekend.
Go ahead, freak.
So my second pick, I'm going to go with Nikola Jokic.
Had his 10th triple-double last night, second in the league behind Russell Westbrook. All right, LeBron.
With my second pick in the second round, I'm going to go with Klay Thompson.
You're really, Giannis, you're doing this old school, aren't you? You're crossing guys off the paper you got and everything. Okay, very good. All right.
With my third pick, I'm going to go with LeBron's guy, Ben Simmons.
He took my choice.
I'm playing mind games. Games.
You took my guy. Oh my God! Now I got to go into shuffle mode now. Hold on. Okay, so with my third pick in the second round, I'm gonna go with Damian Lillard. You know what time it is?
Yeah, we saw him wearing the huge clock the other day in the arena, by the way.
Yeah, Flav.
Giannis?
With my fourth pick, I'm going to take Blake Griffin.
All-star for the first time since 2015, as a matter of fact.
This is my fourth pick, correct? Of this round. With my fourth pick, I'm going to go with Russell Westbrook.
League leader in triple-doubles with 20, averaging a triple-double for the third straight year.
This is my fifth pick.
It is,
sixth
as a
pick.
matter, your fifth.
So with my fifth pick, I'm going to take first-time All-Star, D'Angelo Russell.
With my fifth pick, I'm going to take LaMarcus Aldridge.
An all-star again with San Antonio. We're down
Even
to...
though Pop's going to tell me I only can play him 2 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. I got you. You got four players left here. Giannis?
So with my sixth pick, I'm going to take Nikola Vucevic.
Another first-time all-star.
Well, I do need a little size now because Giannis has taken everybody 6'9" and over.
Team left.
I'm gonna go with Karl Anthony Towns.
Two players left. Giannis, both in the backcourt. Who are you going with?
I got to go with Kyle Lowry. I promised him I'm not going to take him last. So.
Well, he was your last pick. Well, yeah, almost. We have one
Wait,
more.
he's not the last pick, though.
Okay, I got you. That leaves Bradley Beal, who leads the Eastern Conference in 20-point games this year, LeBron, to round out your squad.
I love it. Bench mob, Bradley Beal.
All right, this is different this year, and the NBA, and I credit Adam Silver for doing this, because in a season in which you've got swan songs for two iconic players in this league, D-Wade and Dirk Nowitzki, they are special additions to the All-Star team. And LeBron, you get to choose first, and I have a sneaking suspicion which direction you're going to go. With your buddy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Everyone in the world know who I'm going with, and I'm going with Dirk. I'm going with my buddy Dwayne Wade.
And Giannis, again, you're going for team length, and you get Dirk Nowitzki as your final selection of the draft.
That's a great pick. We can spread the floor now.
Let's take a look at let's look at the rosters and make sure that you guys, when you look at the rosters, you say, yeah, those are the guys that I actually chose. Team LeBron against Team Giannis. Durant, Irving, Leonard, and Harden on the starters for Team LeBron. Steph, Joel Embiid, Paul George, and Kemba Walker from the hometown Charlotte Hornets rounding out the starters there. When you see the list of reserves, guys, well done. We will be back with you to talk to Kenny, Charles, and Shaq about what just went down in just a moment here on the 2019 All-Star Draft. Back here in our Jordan Brand All-Star Draft studio in Atlanta, have a chance to kind of recap things with the captains, LeBron James and Giannis Antetokounmpo. I could kind of hear during the break, is there some possible talk of a trade being made here, LeBron? Are you trying to arrange a trade with Giannis?
Well, since it's that time of the year, Ernie, and I have a feeling that Giannis would love to see Russ and Embiid be teammates because we know how much they get along. I'm proposing a Russell Westbrook for Ben Simmons trade.
Do we even have trades when it comes to this? Are we going to have to go to the
Do we have? I think we should have a
Do it,
a
Giannis.
30-second clock for one trade.
What if you?
Would you be interested in that deal?
What if you put Dwayne Wade in the trade?
Now it's getting deep.
You know what? I know Ben Simmons is your guy, so I'll do it.
Oh,
The
you're going
first ever All-Star
got the
Day trade. We got the trade.
We have an all-star trade. I approve it.
trade,
Do you
yeah.
approve it, Shaq?
Yeah, I approve
You
it.
approve
I
it,
approve it.
Charles, do you approve?
I actually think.
Charles, Shaq, and Kenny approved the trade.
Well, actually, I think the best way to do this for Giannis to trade everybody on his bench for Anthony Davis. I think that'll be
We're good over
Trade
here.
is approved. It's approved on this end. It's approved. It's approved.
Giannis, how did you enjoy this first experience doing this as a captain?
It was amazing. Just to be a part in the first televised draft selection. It's awesome. It was fun. I hope the people are going to have fun with it, and it was great.
Brian Brown, I've been knowing you for a long time. I see you have a lot of shooters on your team. Was this part of your strategy all along?
Yeah, absolutely. I
definitely.
mean, our game is all about shooting right now, pick and roll and shooting. I feel like we got a very, very, good team with a lot of shooters, a lot of ball handlers. Got to try to keep those guys off the glass, though, man, because they got a lot of size. But it'll be fun. This is the best part of the year. When we all can come together. Be all stars, enjoy that weekend, and it's a privilege of mine to be able to have Team LeBron versus Team Giannis to be an all-star once again. So it's always it's an honor. It was fun.
LeBron, let me ask you this question. Pronounce Giannis's last name.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
That was pretty good, right?
No, that's pretty good. No, because
That's really good.
Shaq tried it earlier. You want another shot at the big fella?
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
No, again, he fires from deep.
Well, I see that Team Giannis is very world-oriented, in terms of names, and LeBron's is very Americanized team. Is that on purpose that you picked all of the world guys, Giannis, or did it just work out that way?
Yeah, it was definitely on purpose. I picked guys that I think that would play hard, and guys that fits me and Coach Bud's game plan. Guys that play the right way.
Hey, speaking of Coach Bud, are you going to lobby him for many, many, many minutes in this game?
Yeah, I talked to him already. I told him I won't play plus 35 minutes. He says he's going to keep me around 28. I told him, nah, Coach, I need plus 35.
And LeBron, how much do you foresee yourself playing in the game, considering what you've been through in the first half of the year?
For me, we keep the game close to the first three quarters. Then, when they get the money time, I definitely want to see myself in there, along with the guys that's playing well. But I got so many guys on my team, man, that can carry the fort. If I'm not out there. But All-Star Weekend is always a treat. So, I'm looking forward to it.
And the trade, I should notify you, the trade has gone through. It's already gone through the proper channels, and so the rosters, as you see them now, will reflect the trade being made of.
Team LeBron is bigger now. Look at Anthony Davis, Lamar, Carl Anthony Towns, and Ben Simmons. They're bigger than Giannis' team now.
Yeah, Ben Simmons now with
Might
Team
have been
LeBron.
he fooled you on that one.
And Russell Westbrook going to Team Giannis, where, as LeBron points out, the Joel Embiid, Russell Westbrook deep bond that the two have with Russ in his feelings, that can be reunited as teammates in Charlotte at the All-Star game. Guys, thank you so much. We appreciate you getting all this together, too, the NBA again and the Players Association and all of us at TNT. Happy to bring that to folks and watch how it went down pick by pick. Thanks, y'all.
Appreciate you guys.
Appreciate y'all,
See you
man.
soon.
All right.
Thank you guys for having us.
So we've seen the first televised draft, and we've seen the first draft day trade of All-Stars. We're coming back right after this.
To the warriors on the asphalt and the legends of the hardwood. To the fearless ones, those that lace up, charge hard, and fly high. To those who can't be banned, shut down, or shut up. We are not measured by stats or titles, records or championships. We take the game to new heights, rewrite the rules, push our imagination, and transform the game itself. We are the bold, the feared, and the emulated. The icons, the all-stars, and the future. To every player who's determined to leave their mark, this game is yours. Own it.
More on Own the Game later tonight on Inside the NBA. On the court, he's the point guard for the Houston Rockets. Off the court, he's the president of the National Basketball Players Association. In his first term as president, Chris Paul was instrumental in the successful negotiation of a new collective bargaining agreement, which includes increases in team roster sizes, salaries, player pensions, and health benefits for retired players. And now in his second term, he can be credited for the recent changes in the NBA All-Star Game format. He sat down with Roz Gold on Wood to discuss.
This season, it is a completely different format in terms of the All-Star Game.
Do you like the change in the All-Star Game, Jet?
Will the new All-Star format improve the game?
I do like that. This is like an old-fashioned pickup game.
Well, I heard that a big part of the idea came from you, and you reached out to Adam Silver.
Adam had been saying, viewership for the All-Star Game was down.
My initial reaction to Chris suggesting we change the format was I was quietly thrilled. My next thought was, how do we turn this into a process? Because I knew the next conversation needed to be with Michelle Roberts, and she's the executive director of the Players Association.
I, at least, did not think that the All-Star Game was in need of fixing. I love watching the players, no matter the occasion. But there was some interest in sort of shaking things up a bit.
But here was Chris, and it really demonstrates what a leader he was, that he took the initiative. He was calling me, and he said, we need to change it. We got to find a way to put some interest back in the game.
I've been in the Western Conference my whole career, and I know I haven't made the All-Star Game in the past few years, but every year when I was making it, you sort of in the locker room with the same guys, and nothing's wrong with that. That's cool, but just thinking about a way to make the game more exciting, it's like, why don't we sort of do a draft?
And his notion was, let's have team captains, and then let's have them select the teams.
To me, it kind of feels like the park, how it was picking teams and stuff.
If it is like the park, that's where we all started, whether it be at school, whether it be with our friends. I actually called Bron and I called Steph, just to ask their insight on, they're probably going to be the leading two vote getters, right? So what do y'all think about this idea? And they both were with it.
I think it'll breathe some new life into the game.
A lot of my teammates and a lot of people that I know is like, oh, we're looking forward to this weekend.
It's just fun to wonder, who's LeBron going to pick? And in this case, who's Giannis going to pick? And how these guys are going to play who battle during the regular season.
I love it. It gave it urgency. And it puts a little bit of pressure on it,
Yeah, it definitely put some pressure on it. Because I remember when we first, started talking about it, everybody was like, well, how are you going to do this with the starters? And, well, the starters are still the starters, so whoever the captains are, they have 8 other guys to pick from.
How did you feel about last year's All-Star Game, the first of the new format?
I think it was very competitive. And the guys, they really got after it.
This is probably one of my favorite All-Star games. It's super competitive. The score was still high. It was great.
I think one of the big things about the new format of the All-Star Game, the captains get an opportunity to pick the charity that they're going to play for. So now the guys on the team during the game, they know who they're playing for, so it's bigger than just the guys. And then I think that's what's bigger than the game.
Curry double team. And that will do it.
Wow. What a game.
What a play.
Spectacular.
What else would you like to see improved, changed, and done while you're president?
That's a great question. I think not only my job, but some of the older guys in the league, it's our job to make sure guys not only understand about mid-range pull-ups or step-back threes, but they got to understand about the business of the game and really understand finance. You know, if we work together more, there'll be a lot more for all of us.
We try to be available for everything the players need. We have a facility that's available for them here in New York. Many of our players conduct business upstairs. Our players, unfortunately, have to contend with injury. We have a hot tub, a cold tub, underwater treadmill, obviously weight training. You know, it both recognizes the players' needs as athletes, yet at the same time the players' needs as the CEOs of their own personal brands. This is their home, this is their sanctuary. I think we've done a pretty good job.
That's an interesting point that Michelle makes there, too, because, I mean, what would you like to see happen next, whether it's a Chris Paul idea or a Charles Barkley idea for the league and the direction it's headed?
Well, number one, I've always thought the All-Star game now should be the United States against the world. I think the world has got enough great players with the Greek Freak, Jokic, you got Joel Embiid, Dirk, guys like that. I would love to see the United States against the world. I think that would be a great thing. As far as, listen, the game's in a great place from a financial standpoint. I've always assumed I would love to see us still do more for the older players. I mean, older than me. You know, we got a lot of guys, you know, these guys make so much money. God bless them, number one. But, you know, guys back in the day didn't make any money. And we need to make sure, number one, they get money, but also that we take care of their health care coverage. You know, a lot of those guys need knees, hips, and things like that. I think every player who's still alive, before we'd have to reach a cutoff point. Every guy who played in the NBA before 1980, we should make sure we take care of them. Because, you know, the three most important figures in NBA, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird. Every time I see those two guys, I thank them. They saved the NBA. People forget. The NBA wasn't the NBA before Magic and Bird came along. And obviously, Michael took it to a whole nother level. But Larry Bird and Magic Johnson are the two most important figures from a financial standpoint in NBA history.
I have to agree with Chuck. I think we need to do a better job taking care of the old players. At first, I didn't like the new format, but, you know, listening to Chris now and, you know, the whole park vibe and, you know, guys picking and, you know, having a different environment in the locker room, I think it's very exciting. I remember growing up, All-Star Weekend was always perfect. You had a great dunk contest. You had all the big guys competing in the dunk contest. Three-point shootout was great, and the game was great. If we can get back to where all three elements of the game are great, I think people will start to gain a little bit more interest in All-Star Weekend.
You just All-Star Weekend or just in
Sure. Let's talk about, for our purposes, All-Star Weekend.
Oh, because I had something for the playoffs. I'm still going to go there, Bernie. I just think that if the format for the NBA is not East versus West in the All-Star game, I think that should be the playoff format when it gets to the Final Four teams, because I think the best two teams should be in the finals. I don't think it should be an East versus West.
All right.
And, you know,
so you're for that seeding 1 through 16.
Let's say, for argument's sake, if the Los Angeles Lakers ever got to the finals with LeBron and they were playing the Golden State Warriors, I don't think people on the East Coast would not tune in. I think that they would pay attention to that because they want to see the best two players play. The same way when we have the best two teams playing on our network, we get our highest ratings regardless of what time it is or when it's done.
The only problem with that, Kenny, at some years, and you're going to have like the top. Let's go back the last couple of years. The West would have like the top 8. They'd have.
No, but I'm saying you have East and West, and then the top 4 teams.
I know that.
4 teams, then they just cross and they reseed.
Oh, you just mean for the four?
Just the Final Four.
For the Final Four.
The Final Four.
And All-Star wise, I just think maybe since you're going back to the park, you've got captain's making picks, maybe you go shirts and skins and you play it outside.
Well, everybody, first of all, nobody want to see Shaq take his shirt off.
No, Shaq's not playing, as a matter of fact. I didn't say we had to do shirts and skins. I'm just saying shirts and skins with the players. So again, Team LeBron with his other starters, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Kawhi Leonard. And you see Ben Simmons on Team LeBron. He made a trade after the draft
last minute
with Giannis Antetokounmpo, sending Russell Westbrook to Team Giannis.
Nobody want to see Kevin Durant with his shirt off.
And so let's take a look at Team Giannis.
He can walk around with his shirt off.
With Paul George and Joel Embiid, Kemba Walker and Steph Curry, and now Russell Westbrook.
Nobody want to see Dirk Nowitzki with his shirt off either. I love you, Dirk.
Maybe you can give him the option.
Obviously you do.
Which team do you like? I mean, how do you not like either side?
Yeah,
but
I think the balance, actually, because we were talking about how big Giannis's team was prior to the Ben Simmons move over trade. So I was like, man, they might not get a rebound, possibly with LeBron's team. But that was the equalizer. I thought that equals the teams, and it's anybody.
I always think that the favorite is the home team.
There's no home team.
Yeah,
well,
it's in Charlotte.
It's in Charlotte. Kemba Walker said.
I've always felt like that because, when I played, I was forced to play in a bunch of, we always tried to make sure the guy played at home got to shine.
But even a defensive team, guys on defense would say, well, I'm going to let.
No.
Right,
First of all, nobody's playing defense in All-Star game.
Okay,
Let's stop that. But we always tried to make the guy like, yo, man, you at home, put on a show.
LeBron team, he has a lot of shooters, and he mentioned it, the game is about shooters. Now he got Steph, he got James. If those guys get hot, it could be a long night for Team Giannis.
Yes, sir.
It's going to be interesting. Just when they get the ball to James, all them all-stars just standing around watching.
Oh, geez, there he goes.
He doesn't do that. He didn't do that on the USA team.
Come on, man, I can't joke.
He only does that he only does it there.
San Antonio is my favorite thing, and dribble.
When we come back, we're going to move back over to Studio J. We'll be talking trade deadline with the former GM of the Cavs, David Griffin.
I got to put a sweater on. It's cold.
And congratulations to my boy.